And welcome back to Nancy's Neighborhood, folks. And we just talked with Melissa Woody from the Cleveland Bradley Chamber of Commerce, Vice President of Tourism Development, and she told us all about the Cowpea Festival coming up September the 8th. And now I have Mitchell Mizell from the Museum Center at 5 Points, and they have all kinds of exciting things going on. It's fall, it's back to school, and so you think maybe you all have slowed down, but that's not the case.
No, once I finished my summer camps, it didn't really slow down. We just keep on trucking.
And I think that's great.
That's how
what
we do
you're
it at the
supposed to
museum.
do. Exactly right.
Yeah.
So tell us what's happening.
So we, of course, at the Museum Center have a lot going on, as always. So one of the first things we have coming up is in September is going to be the opening of the Alan Sheptrine exhibit,
Yes.
which is our largest exhibit and our first official art exhibit that we'll be doing at the museum. And it opens on September the 27th to the public. Since I'm the education curator, I got to put in the blurb about what we're doing with education
Right,
and
yes.
the schools. And so to coincide with this exhibit, we are doing a watercolor competition. And this is for all area students from K to 12, whether that's public school, private school, or homeschool. We're extending it to every student.
K through 12.
K through 12.
Okay.
And so in this watercolor competition, there's 3 categories. So there's elementary, middle, and high school. And there's a first, second, and third that's going to be chosen for each category. Now, the judging is going to take place on September the 10th. So Alan Sheptrine and some fellow members of the Tennessee Watercolor Society will be judging those pieces.
Ooh, the big boys.
Yeah,
Okay.
they'll be coming in.
Uh-huh.
And so it's really exciting. So once those 9 winners are chosen, they're actually going to be put on display right next to Alan's work.
Wow.
During the duration of the exhibit. So from September 27th until January 7th, those local pieces by local students in the community are going to be on display with these professional works.
I
It's
think
really
that's
exciting.
awesome. Okay, now, when do they need to start getting those into you?
And so I've already have a few that have come in. I've
Okay.
got a stack from Stewart and a stack from Arnold that have come in. So keep them coming in. Officially, we said the start is the 28th, so tomorrow.
Okay.
But you can bring them anytime between now and September the 7th.
Okay.
And the judging is going to take place the week of the 10th.
Okay, so the 7th is the cutoff day at 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so
All right.
business hours.
Is there a theme to this watercolor?
So
or?
we want to keep it creative content with the kids.
Okay.
And so we've done it a little bit different. So we ask, there's no set rubric as far as content and
Okay.
size. The only thing that we ask is that it be a watercolor.
Okay.
And so I've got all sorts of different watercolors sitting on my desk right now, some that are abstract, some that are more, some scene pieces, this and that. So we really want the students to be creative on this.
And that's fantastic. And they can just do it on paper. They don't have to have it matted or anything like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and they just send it in.
Send it in. Okay, that sounds great. Now, Alan Sheptrine's dad was a really good artist, too, from Chattanooga. So,
Right.
And he did mostly, not necessarily just landscapes, but he did scenes also, like
Yeah.
the old rustic wagon in front of
Yeah,
us, something.
exactly.
So give everybody kind of a hint of what Alan's art is like.
Yeah, so it's called Watercolors of the Serpentine Chain, and so these are depictions of Appalachia, which stretches from Georgia all the way to Maine.
Yes, it does.
And so a lot of these pieces kind of focus on the nature, the landscape, the beauty of Appalachia. Not just nature themselves, but there's one that has a church in it
Yeah.
and some people, and it shows those scenes. So, and it's really great because, as you know, at the museum, we tell the story of the Ocoee region,
Right.
Appalachia. We are part of the Ocoee region,
Yes.
and so we're telling our own story there too.
And I think you're telling it in a beautiful way because I think this is awesome that you're going to have an artist of the caliber of Alan Sheptrine there, and you're going to have him for a month, roughly.
So from September the 27th to January 17th.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah,
that's a little bit more. That's about as bad as I was with
end
7
of
years on the.
September,
Yeah.
November, December, January.
I got
so,
you. That's
yeah.
more than a month. Yeah, that's kind of like the cowpea, 7 years. I'm not ever going to get over that. Okay, so we've got that coming up, and
Yeah.
that opens to the public. What'd you say, September 27th?
That's correct.
Okay, now you have other things coming up because
Yeah.
you said you have a fall camp.
We do, and so that is a new thing we're introducing this year. So, as we know, Cleveland City Schools and Bradley County Schools. They have the same fall break this year.
Thank you.
And so what we're trying to do is we're offering an opportunity for students who might stay here in town to have that camp experience. So, of course, we do our camps all through the summer, but this will be the first time we're doing it in the fall. And so it's going to be 5 days long.
Okay.
And so each day is going to have a different theme. So we're doing a Pioneer Cooking Day. We're doing some storytelling, some woodworking, things like that. So each day is going to be new, and it's going to be something exciting for them to do.
Is there an age group
So what
on
we're
this?
doing is we're doing 2 different groups.
Okay.
So we're doing a younger group, which is ages 4 to 6, and we're doing
Okay.
an older group, which is ages 7 to 12.
Okay.
And so the camp's going to go on at the same time, but the younger group and the older group are going to rotate in stations.
Oh,
so
okay.
not everybody's going to be jumbled up together.
Right.
But we're going to have these stations with different themes, and we're going to rotate throughout the day, every day.
So when you're doing carving or something like that, probably your 4 to 6 year olds are not going to
Do a little something different,
That's
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That was kind of a question I had there. Yeah. Okay.
And so if we're doing Pioneer Cooking, obviously when we're doing with younger kids, we're going to be very hands-on,
Mm-hmm.
have them mixing and stirring, things that they can really just get their hands on, they can enjoy it, get that experience. And with, when you're doing with the older students, you can be a little more
Actually
detailed.
turn the stove on. Yes.
Yeah,
I
right.
I understand. Yes, I do. I understand.
And that's October 8th through the 12th.
Okay.
And
October 8th through the 12th.
yeah, and
Okay.
more information will be coming out soon. So keep a lookout for that on our website and social media, everything with the museum.
And I'll keep mentioning that on this show because
Mm-hmm.
we do have the graphic that Alex put up there just a minute ago, which is a very pretty graphic, fall
Mm. thank
leaf. And so we will mention that again. Now, you have a canteen and some arrowheads.
Mm-hmm. I
so,
do. I
the
brought-
canteen is fascinating me.
When I
okay?
came in, Nancy said she liked visuals. So I said, well,
I
good.
do.
So,
I like visuals.
As I told Nancy, I had to put in a blurb about our school tours and our
Yes.
trunk shows that we do.
Yes.
So school tours, I've mentioned this before, they are free of charge to any school group here in town. So for Cleveland City, Bradley County, Polk County, those 3 schools, we offer that free of charge plus an $85 bus reimbursement.
Neat.
So that's what we do with the public school system, and then, but with private school and homeschool groups as well, the museum is free of charge. So we don't charge for them to come in and participate in whatever related programming we have with the exhibit and participate in a field trip. Now, we've introduced something within the past year that's a little bit different, and we call it trunk shows. And what we do, myself, and usually I bring on somebody maybe from Lee or an intern of mine, and we go into the school and we present essentially a museum experience within the classroom.
How neat.
And so a lot of time, the problems I get, sort of complaints from teachers is, there's not enough time, there's maybe issues with getting the permission slips, et cetera, things like that.
Locating
And so-
the buses.
Yeah,
doing-
exactly.
Yeah, I know. Yes.
And so what we've essentially done with here is we sort of bypass that problem by saying, okay, so the museum, we get artifacts together, we get a lesson together, we pack it up in a big box, a big trunk, as we call it, trunk show, and we take it into that classroom.
How neat.
And we, when I do it, I just spend the day, as the classes rotate, I just present it each time.
Okay.
And so, I brought the canteen up here because we have a few different trunks, so one of which is the Civil War trunk. So, as you know, we have rich history here.
Oh, yes.
In terms of the Civil War. And
Yes.
so I always bring touchable artifacts. So I brought this in today. So this is a Union Army canteen.
Oh, Union. Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
So I brought that in. It's what was sitting back there. So
I got you. That's okay. That's okay.
and so I brought that in, and so it's something that you can pass around, have the students look at it.
Yes.
And so what's great about this is they can learn by actually seeing it, feeling. So these are some reproduction
Yes.
items that they can look at. Mm-hmm. And then I do a trunk on the Cherokee. And so in my department, we have loads and loads of stone points. And so when you're talking about that, you're talking about when the Cherokee lived here, the things that were found.
Mm-hmm.
You can take something like this and pass it around, and they can look at
And
it.
I think that's awesome because feel, taste,
Yeah.
touch, all
Yeah.
of those, smell, anything that the kids can do, it helps them remember more.
And it's really a lot of fun. The museum visit is great, but what's so fun about the trunk show is I'm bringing in these artifacts. They can feel them and touch them, pass them around. It's just so much more real. that
Do you
way.
dress up like a character when you go in?
Sometimes I do.
Okay,
So-
and that's good too. That's
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
Now I hope you dress up like a Confederate when you go in with the Civil
Yeah.
War. But no, folks, I'm kidding. But we are in the South.
Mm-hmm.
So this is available for teachers to just call and
Yeah,
call
absolutely.
you at the
so
museum.
just give the museum a call or email me, and we just set up a date, and then I come in and do it. Or if you want to come for a school tour, you come in. And I do want to emphasize this again, it is free of charge. So if I come into the school, that's no cost to them.
I think that's awesome, Mitch. I really do. And then if they come to the museum, it's free of charge to them. And then you have an $85 bus reimbursement.
Correct, yeah. So this is for Cleveland City Schools, Bradley County Schools, and Polk County Schools.
Okay.
So, and that offer is on the table too.
I think I think that's wonderful. I really do. Now, will that also apply when the Shrubtine exhibit's there?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. So, when that exhibit comes, we'll just do the same as we have done with these field trips, same sort of format and style, except we'll have this new exhibit there too.
I think that's awesome. Now, Alan's wife will be here also. Is she also an artist, or is she just kind of background support, or?
I think she's more just support.
Okay,
so,
like
yeah.
a business manager or
Yeah.
something. That's fine. So I'm excited about
Yeah.
that exhibit because I know when we had Case and Art, we worked with Alan's dad a little bit on some of his framing and everything, and he was from Chattanooga. Now, where does Alan live? Do you know?
I believe he still lives in Chattanooga.
Still in Chattanooga.
I think
okay.
Lookout Mountain.
Okay, very good, very good. So now the museum, give everybody the phone number down there.
So it's 423-339-5745. And if you want to get a hold of me, I'm the Courier of Education. My extension is 105.
105 is
Yeah.
Mitchell. And then you all have a website.
Yes, so it's www.museumcenter.org.
.org. Now, folks, we've talked about the difference in
Yeah.
orgs and .coms, and orgs are your kind of your nonprofit, and the museum can't be a total nonprofit because you have to pay the bills. But anyway, they are a .org, and y'all have a Facebook page.
We do.
Okay.
And
And
so
that's
the
Museum
Museum Center
Center
at 5 Points, yep.
Okay. And do y'all on the Facebook, is it the number 5 and then IVE, or does it spell the word 5? Do you,
It's the number 5.
number 5,
Yeah.
because I think that's a really neat marketing tool. So all of this is going on, and it starts right now.
Yeah, so it's here. And so I've already, today, I scheduled a few field trips, and so I've already
Fantastic.
got them coming in. I've got, one with Charleston and TCPS, they're coming in, so I've got a public school and a private school really gaining interest and traction. And so it's a great tool to get people in here, view the exhibit, but also see what else we have to offer, the wonderful things that we do. And like I said, at no cost to the schools.
And it's amazing what you all have to offer. And it's amazing to me how many people live in Cleveland, Bradley County and say, well, I've never been to the museum.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, so.
I mean, I just don't understand it.
Well, as like Jan says, our best Cleveland's best kept secret.
Yes,
So,
yes.
Yeah.
I used to think Case and Art was when we had Case and Art, but it was supposed to be. But y'all are not supposed to be.
Yeah.
So that's just amazing to me. Now, let me ask you: when you bring students in, or when you go into the schools, whatever they ask you to do follows part of their curriculum.
Correct.
What they're studying right there.
Yeah,
if they're
so-
studying the Indians during that curriculum.
Yeah, and so we keep up with Tennessee State social studies curriculum.
Good.
So usually what I do is I'm in contact with the teacher prior to their visit, or when I come visit, we look at what they're studying and we tie that in to what they're doing at the time. Not only are they learning history on a national scale, but a local scale as well.
Absolutely.
Because it's it hits home more.
It really does. And I think it's wonderful that y'all are taking the trunks into the schools, because having taught schools, sometimes it's just almost impossible to get 25, 30. Well, I had 30 kids. I don't think you can do that anymore. 30 kids on a bus and go somewhere. So, but I never had the option of someone coming to me. So I think that is great.
Yeah.
So all they have to do is call and just schedule with
Yeah,
you.
call and schedule with me, and I'm of course bragging on myself. I think it's a great resource, and
I think it's a wonderful resource,
and
yes.
a great alternative option to the field trips.
And the kids love to have visiting teachers in the classroom, and it's amazing. I teach some junior achievement classes, and one of the teachers said to me, said, they're a whole lot better for you than they are for me. And I thought, yeah, but if I was there 24/7,
Well,
that
I'm
wouldn't
the
be
one that comes
case.
in and I bring fun stuff,
Right.
or I'm dressed up or something
Right,
like that. It's
right.
something new.
And
so.
it is something new, and they do tend to learn, and they do tend to pay attention because they know you're short term.
Right.
And I think that's great. So you do Indians, you do Civil War. What else do y'all do?
And so I do an early home and farm. So I bring
okay.
in tools and
wow.
butter churns and things like that. Talk
Okay.
about early settlers and when people, the age of when you packed up everything in a wagon and you took it somewhere else and you started over. And of course, I always tie that into our wagon we have in the exhibit.
Yes.
What it was like to pack up your whole life, put it in a wagon.
Don't
and,
even want to
you know,
imagine. Don't
and
even
not
wanna
even
imagine.
paved roads, but trails. And so.
Maybe not even trails. You may be going through a field. Okay.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so these are all things that the teachers and they can call you and say, Mitchell, here's what I'm studying.
Yeah.
Do you have anything that
Yeah,
goes with
absolutely. You know, we're going over this, and our sections say we're talking about westward expansion. They want to call me, and I can bring in some of these old tools and things like that, talk about life on the trail, what it was like to travel by a wagon and travel in these parties. And so we just, we make that connection. We really just want to meet teachers where they're at, what they're studying, and be a resource to them.
And I think that's wonderful. So give them the phone number one more time.
Yes, that's 423-339-5745, and my extension is 105.
Okay, and museumcenter.org.
Correct.
And they have a Facebook page.
Museum Center, 5
Center
points.
at 5, the number 5, IVE points. Okay.
Correct.
Mitchell, thank you so much for being
Yeah,
on. And
absolutely.
I've got to have you on again closer to the Shreptine exhibit, and let's see who wins the
Yeah.
art, the student art things, and I think that'll be exciting.
Absolutely.
So
So-
shoot me an email. Look at your calendar. Shoot me an email. And let's be back on and talk about that.
We'll do it.
Super. Thank you, Mitchell.
Thank you.
Folks, don't go away. We're going to commercial break now. And watch the commercials, support our sponsors because they pay our bills. And I'll be right back with some upcoming events.